This is a record. 0102, a block plane. And it's a lovely little block plane, it is. It's really, really simple. It has a sort of a coffin-shaped sole, or you could say it's a boat-shaped. But, you know, it has this curvature on either cheek of this little block plane. But there's no adjustment. There's no adjustment on this block plane. You adjust this in a very similar fashion as you would do a wooden hand plane, whereas you use a mallet or a hammer, a brass hammer if you're going to be using a hammer, or this is a forehammer. And we use this to set the depth of cut, but also the skew of the plane iron. Now, to retract the plane iron, you tap it on the heel of the sole, and this particular one even has a little nodule there, so you can actually tap onto that, and that's, you know, it's basically strengthens, like a reinforcement, I suppose. So you tap it there to retract the plane iron, and you just tap the back edge of the plane iron to actually engage the plane iron. There's no chip breaker or anything like that, because it's a bevel up plane, and because the bevel's up, the bevel itself behaves as a chip breaker. There's no knob, you just have this little dimple there, okay, like a little belly button stick your thumb into, and a bit of fluff maybe. But you see, I actually really love this little block plane, I do. It's low, at fairly low angle, as you can see. Probably time you actually get to the nitty gritty of it, it's probably not much lower than a smoothing plane, maybe 5 degrees lower. I haven't checked actually, so I can't tell. Now, it's very, very simple design. You have the cap iron, which is a screw cap arrangement like so, which cantilevers against this bar. There's no little grooves in the plane iron at all. It's all just basically a very flat, smooth plane iron. It's 2mm thick plane iron. It just goes underneath this cross member here, this crossbar there, and then your lever cap goes underneath that crossbar on top of the plane iron, and then you basically adjust the plane iron to suit. Now, what I tend to do is I place it onto my workpiece like so. If I have just retracted the plane iron, make sure the plane iron is fully engaged, everything's fully engaged, plane iron fully out, only just touch it down to the wood, and then I'll just tighten up the screw cap, and okay, it feels like it's engaging a bit aggressively at the moment. Yeah, it won't move forwards. So what you do is you take the back here and you tap the back onto that little nodule on the back here, onto that piece there, and by doing that it will actually force the plane iron out. A bit more, still a bit much. Not quite, that's it, that might be about it. Let's have a look. So this little block plane isn't just good for taking random shavings off pieces of wood, you know. Okay, need a bit deeper, tighten it up a little bit. You know, it's also good for removing the arris on a piece of wood. You know, where you've actually been planing a piece of wood with your hand plane like so. Okay, and then you've got the sharp corner, that's what we call the arris. The same as on the brick, we call that corner the arris. So actually any cube or rectangular shapes, cuboid shape. As you see, you can actually remove the actual arris really easy and quickly with a little block plane like this. And because it's so small and it just fits in the palm of the hand, it's really comfortable to use. You know, and this, it's quite a nice quality one, but there's no you know, height adjustment that you got here. It's all literally just done with your mallet or your little brass hammer. Now, to do the skew, you literally would tap it one way or the other. To do the depth, you tap the back of the plane iron here. To retract the plane iron, you tap it on the back of the sole, and that, for some reason, the inertia forces the plane iron out. So, first of all, you want to make sure your skew is good. So, is the edge of the plane iron in line with the sole? I'd say it's sticking out a bit further there. So to do that, I just tap it on that side, and that's probably doing the opposite direction though. Now, I think it's still too far out. A bit more. Oh, so that's pretty good. Oh, double great knot. So that's too deep. Way too deep. That's better. So you just retract the plane line by tapping there. And it's sort of like a positive, sharp snapping action. It's not like, you know, whack it really hard. You just like, just kind of like not much more than a tap. A bit like Danielson. You got to hit past the nail, all right? You got to hit past this little nodule, so your impact, like you'd be driving a nail, your impact is going through the sole of the actual plane itself. Now, once you flatten the surface, maybe you're using your number 5 jack plane. You have these sharp edges, and like I said, this little plane. Little block plane's ideal for taking the arrows off. I don't see any reason at all why anyone needs an arrows plane. I understand why people might think they need it, but you don't. If you can't work out 45 degrees on that edge within reason, and when you're so tiny no one's ever going to see it, why do you need a guide? Why do you need a V-shaped sole or one of them bolt-on arrangements? They're daft. You don't need anything like that. Absolutely ridiculous. All you just do is that. Alright? That's all you need to do to take the arrows off. It's as simple as that. Anyway, that is the record 0102 block plane. If you see one of these kicking about a car boot somewhere, snap it up, because they're getting harder and harder to find. This one's actually quite an old one, and it's actually a really nicely made little tool. And it's, I would say, it's, you know, is it as good as a Lee Nielsen? No. Will it last as long as a Lee Nielsen? Well, obviously. Look how old this thing is. You know, it's lasted a test of time, and it served me well, and this used to belong to my father, and it served him well. So, quite frankly, old tools, they last, you know. Many of the modern ones, they don't last. They just don't, because the castings aren't great. So anyway, get yourself a little record 102 block plane with its funny boat-shaped or coffin-shaped sole. Why is it that shape anyway? Is it so it fits in the hand better? I don't get it, why? Let me know in the comments down below. Toodaloo, don't forget to hit the bell like button before you go.